Hi, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. Today I'm reading a sort of Shrek-inspired romance. Steamy romance, I should add. I'm going to be reading this on Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited, but this is called Get in My Swamp, an Ogre love story by G.M. Fairy. I mean, just even that word, swamp. What? The connotations, come on. To all my viewers, I hope you're cleaning down there, front and back. But, you know, I love Shrek. Shrek is love, Shrek is life, of course. And I've never read a Shrek-inspired fantasy romance before. Or, like, any romance that is between a person and an ogre. So the dedication to this is to anyone who feels like they have as many layers as an onion. I do have many layers like an onion. I am a complex person. Before I tell you what this book is about, there is a content warning, so do bear that in mind. I will read this content warning out, and if any of this sounds like it'll be too much for you, then do click out the video, do look after yourself. This is not the video for you. So the content warning is, Get in My Swamp is a dark fantasy romance between a snarky young woman and a brute green ogre. I feel like there's a film about this. While fun, the story includes elements that might not be suitable for some readers. Abduction, non-consensual bondage, consensual bondage, incest, mention and description of past trauma like child abuse, neglect and suicide, cheating and violence are present in the novel. So yes, please, if this is not something you can face right now, then absolutely, I love you 100%, I respect your decision, and I hopefully will see you in the next video. So what the book is about. When Leona stumbles upon Beck, the ogre's trap, and becomes his prisoner, like, I already don't like the way that this summary is written, by the way. I will probably screenshot and put it up on screen so you can see. I'm not a big fan of the clunkiness of this already, but we just here to have a good time, okay? We're just here to have a good time. I'm not going to try and be too critical. When Leona stumbles upon Beck, the ogre's trap, and becomes his prisoner, she's determined to get away, but it doesn't take long for things to start heating up between the two. Beck is trying to protect her, and Leona can't help her body's reaction to the buff green monster. The lines between captive and captor become blurry, and the passion becomes a raging fire neither of them can put out. So obviously Beck, Shrek, Leona, Fiona, I mean, it's genius. I will give it that. It is genius. I am a little bit worried about the content, not gonna lie, because obviously I don't like things that are not consensual, as we have seen from my Does It Hurt video. However, because I've been warned about it, I am in a good enough headspace to tackle all of that, and I'm just gonna take the story for what it is. I'm so excited to get into this. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoy and subscribe if you haven't already. But I'm going to take my Kindle, and I'm actually going down to a church that's nearby me. It's been renovated into a cafe, but you know, I've never read Shrek porn in a church before. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I'll take you along with me. I'm sure I'll be giggling the entire time, but hopefully nobody judges me what I read. Nobody can tell, so that's good. But anyway, it doesn't matter because only God can judge me.
You're a whore.
Who said that? Before I set off to the church to read this, there is a couple of reviews on Amazon that I wanted to read out. The first one by Jenna. I feel more seen by this book than any therapy session I have had. It was shocking, sexy, hilarious. I'm so pleased the author had the nerve to create it. I display it proudly in my apartment. Great conversation piece. Should be the next 50 Shades of Green. Woolen Kitten. Can't get Ogre it. For a short novella, boy, this does pack a lot in. Yes, there's capture. Yes, there's mention of eating humans. But this is hot. Look, I ain't judging. Okay? I actually haven't even looked at Goodreads. I don't even know what people have said on Goodreads or even the rating of it on Goodreads. Let's have a look. Get in My Swamp. Oh, it's a duology too. I didn't realise that. Oh, God. It has a 3.12 rating right now with 1,352 ratings. Oh, God. Okay, someone gave it 5 stars and said it's literally Shrek Smut. I'm actually laughing so hard because it's my first 5-star rating of 2023. Okay, hold on. Oh, no. Oh, my God. It was that bad. It, like, shut down my Goodreads. No. I was in the middle of reading that. Get in My Swamp. Oh, my... Okay, there's a review by Ellie. Shout out, Ellie, if you're watching this. Okay, hold on now, hold on. Let Beck and Leona cook, okay? Shakespeare is quaking right now. His pussy is shaking. The roof of every house across this nation. His bones are rattling. He is tearing his hair out, just wishing he had written something as legendary as this piece of artwork. I mean, I'm sure he is in his grave right now, rolling, thinking, God damn it, I wish I'd written Get in My Swamp. Someone said this was not Shrek enough, while also being too Shrek. What? What does that even mean? What an unhinged journey. Was it good? No. Would I do it over again? Absolutely. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, now let's set off to this church. If I get struck by lightning while entering this holy ground, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I can feel there is somebody here.
And he's watching over me tonight as he takes away my fears, lets me know there's a heaven up there. Yeah, he's reaching out his hand to me to wash away my tears. Oh, I know you, and I praise you. Got my arms open for your love. Oh, I want to be near you. I hear angels from up above. They sing hallelujah. They sing hallelujah. I can see though my eyes are all closed. Yeah, he gives me strength to carry on and always lets me know that I'm fine just the way he made me. Every perfect imperfection is all because of him. Oh, I know you, and I praise you. Got my arms open for your love. Oh, I want to be near you. I hear angels from above. They sing hallelujah. They sing hallelujah.
They sing hallelujah. This is my second glass. And it's everywhere. So I read the entire thing while I was in that church. All of Get in My Swamp. It's not that long a book. I think it's only about 195 pages. Got through in like 2.5 hours. But one thing I hate about Kindles is that even though you can do a digital highlighter thing, I much prefer having a physical book and highlighting it myself. But instead I just took a lot of photos of all of the pages that I wanted to mention. There is a lot. So essentially we start the story with Leona, and she is getting married to someone called Lawrence. And she doesn't want to get married to him. She doesn't like him. She feels trapped in this upcoming marriage because she was raised poor and Lawrence is offering her so much security, which I guess you can get some like Lord Farquaad vibes from him. I will say though that definitely diverges by the end. Oh boy. All I can say is what in the Cassandra Clare. Yeah, Lawrence Farquaad. I don't know how to actually pronounce his last name. To be fair, I do love like the little Shrek hints. He is the heir of the mighty Duloc home security empire. Duloc is. So I do love like the little hints like that, honestly. Like, I'm not going to tell you what I thought overall of this book until the end. I'm not going to let you know if I loved it, hated it, loved it, whatever. But honestly, I respect the hell out of even attempting to do some kind of Shrek romance. And especially a straight one at that. I mean, I'm not called Gavin Er0t1c for nothing. Also, if you are new here, I'm not straight. Gay pride. But my acting can be a little bit too convincing at times. We also meet Victoria, who is a half-sister of Lawrence, and they are practically like twins, and Leona doesn't really love her, but Victoria does have like some kind of engagement celebration in Florida for her, so she is essentially the catalyst of this story beginning. Meanwhile, Lawrence obviously isn't part of these celebrations, but she does say, and I don't know why, because like the thing with the writing of this is that you get so much information at very random times. It's not even built into the context of the conversation. It's just thrown in there. But listen to this about Lawrence. The size of his little friend though, let's just say the rumours aren't true about the correlation from hand to dick size. He has big hands. She likes to tell us that she's not discriminatory towards small dicks, which, you know, I do love a dick positivity queen. But if anything, this just shows us how desperate she is for something to come along that's just a little bit bigger, you know? Maybe a little bit greener? Maybe. Sex with Lawrence is very disappointing. She does not like to even entertain the idea of him being a good lover. So she has these dreams where someone is binding her up and taking advantage of her. And that's something she's into, and I respect that. There will be no kink shaming on this channel. So if she wants to be bound up by a stranger, more power to her. She's obviously not happy with this upcoming engagement. So obviously I was rooting for her to meet somebody else. But the way she describes herself, the way that the author describes her, and this is dual narrative first person between Leona and Beck. She says, I got huge boobs, porn star lips, and an ass that won't quit. But I'm also poor. Come from a shitty family, have no friends, my humour is not for everyone, and I don't seem to know when to stop talking. This is the kind of writing that you can expect from this book. It is just a lot of info dump on people, no character development because you're just told everything and there's no ease into it, there's no transition into this conversation. We go from her describing her looks to instantly about her finances. Am I meant to feel sorry for you? Look, it'll take a lot for me to feel sorry for you, okay? I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch, I'm a lover. And the same can also be said for Beck. Get in my swamp. And the way that he just describes himself and tells us what we should think. I'm the only 7-foot green, hilarious, and gut-wrenchingly handsome creature around. But it's a cross I bear. Oh my god, what a burden. What a burden to be this sexy ogre in the middle of nowhere. One thing I do not like is that this author made Shrek sexy. Partly the appeal of Shrek is that, you know, I mean, he isn't an athlete. He won't be gracing the cover of Vogue anytime soon. But what we love about Shrek is that we look beyond appearances, and like an onion, we see the layers beneath. But no, this Shrek is sexy. But also he does still have like the ogre teeth, you know, like the big ogre teeth, you know? And also Shrek is a lonely, sensitive soul. You know, he actually has a conscience too. Even though he's this big scary ogre and he likes to tell us he's a big scary ogre, he's just absolutely, or at least the author is trying to make him look like some kind of cinnamon roll. I'm like, that's not my Shrek. He's supposed to be quite mean and brooding and quick as a whip, you know? There's nothing like that for this Shrek. He's not even funny. He probably doesn't even have a Scottish accent. The switch between Leona and Beck can sometimes be quite jarring, especially when we have Leona in the middle of telling us about her childhood trauma, which even though there were content warnings, I feel like because this book is so poorly written, like the stuff with like child abuse and stuff like that, it's literally just a line of her telling us, as usually comes with having alcoholic parents, the abuse came as well. Again, we're just being told this. We're being told this in buckets, rather than actually having this natural progression into her backstory. It's being shoved down our throats, like homosexuals. So one night, Leona, feeling the need to escape, she ends up going into the woods by herself. She leaves a note saying, don't look for me, don't. So she goes into the woods, she falls into a trap. I'm caught in a trap. And Beck hears it. So Beck, he is in a swamp, which we never ever really get described to us. It actually sounds quite nice. It actually does sound quite nice. When Leona says it, it's like a picturesque cottage. And I'm like, not my swamp. The thing is though, it's like this author got Shrek and put him through an AI program and said, glamorize this bitch. He even smells good and he wears grey sweatpants. Honestly, if Mike Myers gets wind of this. So yeah, Leona does fall into Beck's trap. Beck hears it, he comes out, sees her unconscious, and he thinks that she is the most beautifulest girl he's ever seen. And in fact, he hasn't ever really been in the presence of another woman. Whoever has fallen into his trap because he does guard this magical community, which part of me was liking that because it does tie into the original Shrek a little bit. I've seen a human woman before on TV and online because he does have TV, Wi-Fi. He also gets deliveries from Amazon. So that's good. He keeps talking to us as if he's like this sensitive person. Like, oh, I'm actually a good guy, I'm a gentleman. Obviously, whatever comes from this relationship is going to be toxic as fuck. But this is what I'm reading this for. I want toxicity. And while Leona is asleep, there is a sort of emergency board meeting with Shrek and the magical community. Beck. So everyone knows about this woman. She's just been caught by Beck, and this whole magical community is in uproar, and they're like, what are we going to do about her? She can't know about us. So we have like goblins, fairies, things like that, which again, I can say the appeal. Whenever a human comes onto my property, we always meet about it the next day to discuss just what happened in case there are any possible security breaches. And this one is starting to like lose me a bit because, again, would Shrek do something like that? This is the part where you run away. You know what I mean? Like, this does not sound like Shrek. He's actually defending this woman like, oh, I don't want to kill her. Just like, but he's also scared of public speaking. Speaking in front of a crowd, absolutely shit my pants worthy. Shrek! Shrek isn't scared to speak in public. And not in front of this magical community he's known his entire life. Come now. He does convince the magical community that he will keep her as a sort of prisoner so that she doesn't escape back into the human world and reveal this magical community. So even though like they wanted her dead, he partly kind of saves her life a little bit by this action, which again is very because no way you look at it, he still got her captured. And even though she did step into his trap, and there were signs everywhere by the way as well, there were signs saying do not trespass, and she trespassed. But also I'm not saying that she deserves this at all. It's like Beck now has saved her from death, and he even tells him it just gets lonely and tiresome alone in my cottage. What's we're supposed to feel sorry for Shrek because he's lonely? Oh my god. And guess what donkey is called in this? Donnie. Donnie. I mean, I was so glad to see that we have a donkey. Although actually he's not a donkey, he's more like a half man, half horse. But yeah, he probably becomes like the worst character by the end of this. Like, I know he's supposed to be annoying, but oh, just you wait. Just you wait. And Becca's saying, oh, you know, Leona probably won't like me. And Donnie's like, ah, shut up, man. Her panties are probably soaking just thinking about you. You know all the women in the village want you. She's probably just pretend to be scared of you, and she would be even happier to see me. And he's like being like this little sleazeball kind of thing. But it's also the fact that, yeah, Shrek is now handsome. He's actually gorgeous. And I'm just like, I'm all for a Shrek romance, but like, come on. You don't make Shrek handsome. Not like in Shrek 2. It goes against everything Shrek 2 stands for. So Beck goes back to the cottage, sees Leona, and tells her, yeah, I can't let you go. You'll probably die if I try. And she's thinking in her head, okay, he like turns me on so much, but like, I'm gonna pretend that I'm into him, and we're gonna call it Operation Pussy Trap. I'm gonna seduce him to get out of the clutches of an ogre. Fuck that guy. Operation Pussy Trap. Commence. Commence Operation Pussy Trap. And I kind of like the back and forth between Leona and Beck, because Beck is like, well, if she's gonna play games, I'm gonna play games too. Abigail to swoon over such basic decencies such as not eating her, but maybe my good buddy Stockholm will help me out. Oh, don't you just love a healthy starting relationship? So as soon as Beck comes back to the cottage and he's gonna make her some food and try and get his plan in action, she's already trying to get her plan in action. And her plan is essentially just to completely change how she was acting, just like that, and being like, oh my god, that smells delicious. You know, like, so she is like forcefully throwing herself at him so quickly. Like, she doesn't even build up to it. Like, if she was trying to get Operation Pussy Trap to be a success, you want to try and make it believable. But literally, he just left. She decided to do Operation Pussy Trap. He comes back and she's just like, I've had it. I'm not even kidding you. She starts to masturbate in front of him. So he sits on the bed, whips his dick out. Her eyes go wide. Whoa, you're big. The tone of her voice seems genuine and surprised, but I know she's probably just saying that to butter me up, even though I know it's huge. I've seen other creatures' dicks around town in the springs. Mine is by far the biggest. Oh my god, get over yourself. Oh, I want to be deep in her wet fold as she yells my name. But right now I just want to watch. Like, the amount of times that he says fold or folds to refer to her nether regions is disgusting. Because he says it so many times. You know what else is repeated so many times? Is whenever they finish, they say, oh, I've come undone. They say that constantly, every single time they finish having sex. Spoiler alert, they do like have sex and stuff like that. Oh, I've come undone. I've come undone. Yeah, she comes undone very quickly after touching herself, and he's just like, okay, so he puts his dick away and just goes back to making food, and she's just sitting there like, wait, what the fuck? Operation Pussy Trap is not a success? Colour me surprised. Ash, do you have to come in now? This is embarrassing. Oh no, he's licking the wine off the floor. Crap, you don't want it, you're too young. Oh, my beautiful man. Mwah. Beautiful. Run away. Go, I don't want you to hear this. It's like he hears me say pussy and he goes, you cold? So yeah, she's very attracted to him, and she is very turned on by the prospect of being captured. She did have that dream earlier on where she was like restrained and put down, and now it seems like her dreams are coming true. The only thing is though, she doesn't want him to have the satisfaction of giving her what she wants. So this is why Operation Pussy Trap came into it, but it failed straight away. He's 7 feet tall and built like a boulder. That is a nice boulder. I couldn't help myself, I haven't come like that in years. And she falls for him instantly. Instantly. This is day one. This is day one. Charlie, there is no Stockholm Syndrome that's set in this quickly. She even says this is Operation Pussy Trap, not Operation Stockholm Syndrome. Then goddamn step your pussy up. And I know it sounds like I'm making light of this whole thing, but like, this book is so ridiculous. You can't take it seriously. Yeah, I might want to fuck him. So what? I can still hate someone I want to fuck. She is desperate for him to eat her out. Which, you know what, if he is a handsome ogre, Fair enough. But when I say, like, I had whiplash from this because of how quickly she actually does genuinely really like and want to be fucked by this ogre. And we have the one bed trope. And one thing I absolutely fucking hate about this book is that if you're just gonna give me toxic romance, whatever, okay, fine, whatever. You've told me that this is what's gonna be, and I can't hate on that. But like, the actual sex scenes last 2 lines, 3 lines maybe. Whenever there's actual penetration, it's over. Or one might say, it's ogre. Just like that. And even when she's touching herself, it's over just like that. So yeah, they're sharing one bed because he's, you know, he doesn't keep her in the cage that long. He lets her out and they sleep in the same bed. She's pretending to be asleep so that she can try and escape. He could break my neck without exerting much energy, and for some odd reason, that turns me on. God, do I need a therapist. So, you know, at least she's honest. I don't even think it's my apparent Stockholm Syndrome speaking when I say how hot he is. He could definitely be on the cover of JQ magazine. He doesn't have any covers over him, which makes it easy for me to take in every part of him. I'm not sure if I'm relieved or disappointed to discover he's wearing pants, but not just any pants, no, grey sweatpants. I might as well get myself off before I try to escape. Like, yeah, sure. Yeah, just do that. Just do that before you escape for your life. I imagine his arms around me as he pumps into me. I feel myself about to come. I want to make this last a little longer. I mean, sure, yeah, you want to escape, but let's drag this masturbation scene out. She accidentally lets out a moan, and Beck hears it, opens his eyes, and whips his thing out, and he goes, "Can I help?" No, actually, hang on, how does Shrek say it? I need to do Scottish. Can I help? That doesn't sound like Shrek at all. Yes. It's more of a moan than a word. Oh my god, if only I would have orgasmed, then I could think clearly. But right now my pussy is purring. I want him so bad, how can I say no? So he helps her to finish with his finger, which is apparently bigger than Lawrence's dick. She comes undone, and then she rolls over and she's like, okay, I'm done. Beck doesn't do anything, he doesn't come undone at that minute. So he's just like, okay, and then he goes to sleep. He is a very considerate lover. Like, he makes sure that she finishes and that she is feeling all of the pleasure that he can possibly give her. And he doesn't expect anything in return right there and then, which is, again, the author probably trying to force this on us that this is a good guy. Ugh. This is Beck. Sure, her fingers were deep in her folds, watching me. When I read that in the church, I was almost sick. I was genuinely almost sick. Why do you have to say that? Tomorrow I vow to myself that I will seriously start my journey of wooing her. So he's genuinely fallen for her and he wants to love her and protect her from this village that might kill her if she tries to escape. So again, I'm just like a little bit conflicted over that because, yeah, she was a prisoner, but like nothing happened during that time, and she herself like desperately wants to escape her whole life, which in a metaphorical sense was the cage all along. So she escaped a cage to get into a cage, which Beck has opened the cage for her and is now trying to protect her and save her life. I'm so conflicted. He says the games are over. And I'm just like, look, the game's barely begun because they were shit. They were shit at playing this game of Operation Pussy Trap and Operation Stockholm Syndrome. Nothing actually happened. So when Beck falls asleep, Leona does escape. She runs out. Right, this is just a huge red flag for the writing. I feel like the biggest bad guy of this is the writer. So Leona, a part of me hopes he catches me. It's crazy. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that I don't love Lawrence and I'm just looking for an excuse to get out of this marriage, but I can't decipher it. And I don't want to think too much about it. You've just deciphered it. You've just told us and you've let the whole world know that you don't love Lawrence. You're trapped in a marriage you don't want to be in. Or to get in even. She isn't married yet. But like, you've just told us everything. You don't have to decipher shit. You've just told us. As if he heard my silent wish, loud crashes came from behind me. And he does end up catching her. He says, you have 2 options. I can either let you go, or you can let me spread your legs open and lick your pussy until you're begging me to fuck you. So yeah, 48% in the book, he is giving her the option to leave and he will let her go. Or they can have sex right there and then. And she chooses the latter. She wants to have sex with him right there and then. Beck, I need you, I yell. I feel as if I might die if I don't have him between my legs. I'm dizzy with pleasure just from the anticipation. That's a good girl. Open up for me, he says in a husky voice. Wait, no, hang on, it needs to be Scottish. Okay, I'm terrible at accents. Scottish. Scottish. That's a good girl. Open up for me. Oh my god, when he gets to my clit, I almost come undone immediately. Stop it with the fucking coming undone. I know I said I'd never eat a human again. Wait, that's Irish. Shit. Scottish. I know I said I'd never eat a human again, but you taste so good. I'll eat your pussy for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Although my orgasm just passed, literally, she just came undone. Like, he barely did anything. Why are these people acting like teenagers? I pull my cock out of my sweatpants and position the head at her entrance. Like, can you imagine Shrek wearing sweatpants? Grey sweatpants? I don't know if I can take you, she whimpers. Squish, squish, squish. You will. You were made for me. She opens up for me, like a flower in full bloom. Beck, fuck me like you hate me. Scream my name for me, baby. Beck, she yells as her pussy pulses and her body writhes and bucks. Fuck. No, hang on. Squish. Fuck. I yell as I climax inside of her, filling her up. So again, like, it's just a few pumps and he is done. And this is a recurring theme in this book, is that it's just a couple of thrusts and they're done. I'm sick of reading romances when it's over just like that. Just like that. And do you know how many times he is hard? All the time. It's never flaccid. And you come in that quick. I would be furious. But she's absolutely in love. She's in love. So he asks if he hurt her. No, I'll just be sore. I've never been impaled by a monster dick before. It was top notch. But yeah, I'm going to be sore. Imagine getting fucked by an ogre in the middle of the woods and saying it was top notch. Top notch. What are you, British? Speaking of, if anyone's comfortable sharing, because this is a safe space, have you ever had sex in public before? I have. Once I did it, I think I was like 19 at the time, and did it in a cinema. Oh, this was long before Netflix and chill. This was IMAX and Climax. His ass is too perfect round boulders. Again, that is a nice boulder. So they go back to the cottage. She has decided to stay with him. And now they're just like throwing things at each other, like pillows, and they're giggling and they're sharing their feelings. Like, we're 54% into this. It is a short book. But like, this is the halfway mark. They've just had actual penetrative sex for the first time, which lasted 2 seconds. And they're acting like a married couple. It's concerning. To think, just last night I was contemplating my mistake. Now I'm giggling and rustling around in the covers with him. I guess that's what good dick can do to you. You call that good dick. Coming in 3 thrusts is not good dick. I feel bad for her. I do. I get up and walk toward him. I'm not faking. I wanted you. I still want you. Ah, so you're happy to stay here with me then? Oh, is that Irish? So yeah, she's definitely all in. It's always been consensual, the romance between them. So I don't feel too icky about this one as I did with Did It Hurt? Because the line was a lot more blurred with that one. Whereas this one, it's just all consent. Even though, yeah, she was captured by him. And that line there is a little bit blurry when you think of the beginnings of it. But honestly, if you just like, know it's ridiculous Shrek porn fanfiction, you're good. You're good. They decided to go into the magical marketplace kind of place. And there, Shrek is actually confronted by a wizard who gives him a potion, and he says, if you want to let the woman go, you could just give her the potion and she will get everything she saw here. So it's like a way out for her, because if she can leave without remembering and possibly telling and revealing the secret of this magical community, then it is safer for her to leave. So he takes it, but Leona is just utterly obsessed with him. She absolutely loves him so much, and loves the sex that he gives her for some reason. I try to keep myself busy with gardening, journaling, taking long walks, and sex. Yes, lots and lots of sex. I used to think that I would be happy if I could get off a few times a week. Now it feels like if I don't have some part of Beck's body inside of me every few hours, I will die. It's gotten to a point where it's maybe a little bit too much. I genuinely thought I was overdramatic. But wait until you come across Leona. And then Dani, aka Donkey, comes up to her. And he ends up telling Leona about Beck's parents and like how they died. About how his mother helped a boy who had wandered in. And unfortunately his mother got killed by the young boy's dad, who thought that she was, you know, a monster, and then Beck's dad ended up taking his own life. So obviously that is sad, but it was like literally just all revealed to us from Dani. That again, like the emotion was so detached. We didn't get like this natural progression into finding this out about Beck's parents. And then he pulls Leona into him and says, how about I show you what it feels like to be with a real magical being instead of that smelly ogre. And then Dani is trying to sexually assault Leona. I'm like, fuck, this is not what Donkey would do. It's honestly traumatizing. When you love Shrek so much as I do,
Do the roar.
reading shit like that, it ruins the whole thing. It's ruined Shrek for me. And I was sitting there in that church absolutely mortified. The fact that Donkey is about to sexually assault Fiona. Childhood ruined. Beck does come and breaks it up, and he does beat Dani to the ground. And there's blood everywhere. He isn't dead, but he's very badly beaten. And when they see Dani on the floor, covered in blood, bleeding out, Leona and Beck have sex. I never knew seeing someone covered in someone else's blood could turn me on so much. I want him to impale me, and I'm already wet enough to take him. Take me, I'm yours, I moan. But Beck grabs my legs and throws them over his shoulders. His face meets my core, and his tongue licks up and down. He comes up for breath. You taste like mine. Because he wants Leona to be his. So it's like, you taste like mine. Like, these are my juices. He moans and then buries his face back into me, swirling his tongue up and down, and then focuses in on my clit. And then he's lapping it up. He's lapping it up like a freaking dog. You thrust, our thrust, mine thrust. I feel myself coming undone again. Beck pulses inside me, filling me. His thrust becomes slower and he leans over to my ear. I love you. 1, come undone. 2, it was like 3 thrusts again, and he came undone. 3, I love you. Come now. Come undone now. She doesn't reply to that straight away, but she does say, the answer seems clearer to me than I want to believe. I've never felt this feeling before, and although it could be a result of me being held captive, I don't really care. I want to lean into this. I want to admit my love for Beck. And there it is. I love him. So yeah, she has come to love Beck, and they keep saying like, oh, you're made for me, you're made for me. But then when Beck comes home, he tells her, you have to leave. You have to take this potion and leave. Beck, didn't you hear me? I love you. I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier, but I was scared. I'm not scared anymore. I love you. No, Leona, you can't love me. I captured you. Squish, squish, squish. No, Leona, you can't love me. I captured you. Oh my god, I can't do it. That was so bad. I know it's a little bit unconventional, but I've really thought about it. I really do love you. I never felt this way with Lawrence or anyone before. But there's a typo and it says, I never felt this was with Lawrence or anyone before. This is free on Kindle Unlimited, by the way. So if you want to check it out, maybe you should. Beck shows her the potion and says, have this. Take it and be free. But she's like, no, I don't want to take this. I want to be yours. I want to stay here forever. And he says, if I love you, I have to let you go. I'm not going to try the Scottish accent anymore because it's pitiful. I just stared down at him, tears streaming down my face. And honestly, I just didn't care whatsoever at this point. I was like, okay, just let it be over. Because obviously I'm not going to get the steamy sex scenes that I want from a Shrek steamy romance. So just stop wasting my time and fucking go. So in protest, she ends up taking the cage key that she was in at the start of the book. She takes the key, she goes into the cage willingly and locks the door, so she's locked herself into this cage. And she's like, I'm not going until you agree that I can stay. And then she starts touching herself. She starts to touch herself and she's like, Beck, come get a load of this. So then Beck's like, okay. So he ends up like prying the cage door open. He doesn't need no cane. You can't make me leave, I yell. So he does end up having sex with her. Although I want this to last, since this might be our last time, I can't take it anymore. I thrust faster and deeper until Leona is screaming my name and pulsing around me. I come right after her, feeling as if every cell in my body is alive. You've literally just put yourself in her. And now you're just quickly taking yourself out again because you've come undone. So as they're lying there, she's like, this means I can stay, right? And he's like, no, it doesn't. So she's like, oh, for God's sake, what do I need to do? And so she just like leaves, she takes off. And this is when Lawrence randomly comes out of nowhere and he's like, oh, Leona, I've been looking for you in the middle of this forest, in the middle of this Florida swamp. And I just found you. Oh, wow. And she's like, what are you doing here? How did you find me? He's like, oh, GPS on your phone. I'm like, fucking hell. She looks at the card. She's like, you know what? I don't want to forget Beck. And if I go back, he's going to make me take that potion. So I'm just going to leave with Lawrence right now. So she leaves with Lawrence. And I think maybe it's been a month since this has happened. And the wedding's still on. It's still going forward. Leona decides to pay Victoria a visit, Lawrence's half-sister. And she knocks on her door and she's like, oh, fuck, shit. And it's obvious that she has a guy there. And Leona's like, oh, am I interrupting something? Silly me. And then she sees Lawrence's shoes and she's like, wait a minute. I bought Lawrence those shoes last year. And then she walks into her house and looks into her room. And there's Lawrence naked. He's been having sex with his sister. Why? Why do we suddenly have this random incest storyline at the end here? Was this to make Leona leave? But like, she doesn't love Lawrence anyway, so really, did that even matter? Leona, wait. Lawrence catches up with me in the kitchen and grabs my arm. Victoria and I aren't in love. We just know each other's bodies better than anyone else. It's purely physical. Come on, don't pretend that you weren't shacking up with some guy when I found you. You were wearing a man's shirt. You would never have survived in the wilderness on your own. She says, I could have fucked an entire football team and it wouldn't even hold a candle to the fact that you were having sex with your sister. I mean, she has a point, but alas, those without sin cast the first stone. Leona, you've been having sex with an ogre. You've been having sex with a monster. It's essentially an animal you're having sex with. And you're saying, It wouldn't even hold a candle to the fact that you're having sex with your sister. I mean, come on. Incest, bestiality. I mean, I judge everyone. I do. I'm a judgmental bitch. It's just who I am. But I was sitting laughing in that church like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, she leaves, she calls off the wedding. It's about a month later. She's found herself a nice little apartment. And then randomly, she's dreaming about Beck. Randomly, there's a big bang at the door. And guess who it is? It's Beck. Apparently got on a fucking plane. This big 7-foot ogre with these big massive like ogre teeth, all green, got on a plane from Florida to wherever the fuck she is now, but it's far enough that he needed to get a plane, and nobody noticed? He even said, oh, no one noticed. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And we do find out that it was a wizard who told him of her location. Oh my god, just fuck me. And then they do. I tried to make this first time after so long last as long as I could, but the monster inside me can't wait. It seems the owner's monster is unable to control herself as well. Our moles melt together until our bodies tense and we both come undone. Oh, I can't even show you properly on the phone. It's lit. Hang on, let me count sentences. Oh my god, just fuck me. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sentences later, they finish. 4 sentences. This is like literally their first time doing it after a month. And they come undone so quickly. I put on a hoodie, some sunglasses and a face mask and took a plane. No one noticed me. Sit on my face, it's my turn to eat. My body convulses and I roll over to my side. She's just come undone again. All he did was literally probably put the tip of his tongue in her and she was... And he says, okay, why don't you take a shower? I'm making waffles. I love that Shrek quote, but it ain't enough. It ain't enough to save this. Oh, the end. The end. That was the end. Just say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. Honestly, when I go into a dark romance, I have to take the darkness. I have to take the toxicity, and I don't ever use that against a dark romance if that is what it's supposed to do. However, this was so terribly written, I'm using it against it. And it wasn't even the capturing of her at the start that rubbed me up the wrong way. It was the fact that they were rubbing each other and couldn't last a second. I mean, I'm very versed in kind of linguistics myself, but that's ridiculous. I definitely appreciated the nods to Shrek, and I could see the inspirations at certain points, but honestly, the steam left so much to be desired. It could have probably benefited from being longer, also by having a better writer who could actually write exposition and bring in people's backstories a lot more naturally than she actually did. GM Fairy has to be a pseudonym because you do absolutely not want to have your real name out if you wrote this. I mean, I am a little bit scarred by it. So it's probably done its job well, and I don't take it seriously at all. But like, it could have been something a bit greater, you know? I definitely feel like Shrek deserved more. Anyway, I had a fun day out of it. I would still recommend reading it if you're going to read it on Kindle Unlimited, because it's free. But in the wise words of Shrek, that'll do, donkey. That'll do. So do stick around and subscribe if you haven't already, because I do think my next steamy romance read that I'm going to try is a gay Jaws romance, so you do not want to miss that. But anyway, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of this video. Have you read Getting My Swamp before? Are you planning on picking it up? Let me know everything. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons and my One Piece channel members for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon or my One Piece channel membership, then all the links are down in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.